Hello everyone. Today is 28, 2024. I would like to discuss just for more or less an hour discussion about the major changes for international students and postgraduate work permits in Canada for we want to review those things. Okay, so I just wanted to review with you guys. I want to read this, and then I'm gonna try to interpret as easier as I can, or as deeper as I can. So we've seen major changes to Canada's international student program in 2024. Let's talk about major changes. That includes updated eligibility criteria for post-graduation work permit or PGWPs, updated cost of living requirement, closure of the Student Direct Stream and the Nigeria Student Express, caps on study permit applications, stricter rules for study permits, new rules regarding off-campus work hours for international students, and updated regulation for open work permit for spouse. Honestly, ever since they've announced this difficult, ever so impossible international student and PGWP, I never asked anybody, or I didn't even encourage anyone, any foreign national, to actually apply for student permit. Mayroon lang akong few who actually have enrolled already that I have to deal with them and I have to help them apply for a permit. However, not in my whole life since this 2024 since they actually announced about the difficulties, the restrictions about international students and even the PGWPs. I never asked anybody, not even one person. I did not encourage anyone about the difficulties, the restrictions about international students and even the PGWPs. I never asked anybody, not even one person. I did not encourage anyone or any foreign national na mag-apply ng international student permit study program that is part of a curriculum licensing agreement are no longer eligible for PGWP arrangement wherein private college. However, in March, just to let you know, I'm talking about the good news about especially the PGWP for master's degree status. 22 again from graduates will be from schools na or ilang masteral like nga wala nang unfortunately certain means a PGWP would be based on the of master to matters. This change benefits students or February 2000 requirement for PGW again 2004. Canadian landmark and number 1 field September a field of study shortages. This does not apply to bachelor's, master's, or doctoral graduating from college from university after September release program for PG of study are linked. Okay, so etong announce ulit ng details about what program are eligible for PGWP list, agriculture and agri-food. healthcare, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics or STEM, trade, and transport. International students who applied for study permits before November 1, 2024, remember this, do not need to meet field of study requirements to be eligible for a PGWP. So anybody, international students na nag-apply ng study permit before November 1, 2024, hindi nila kailangang i-meet yung field of study requirements para maging eligible sila ng PGWP. But if they apply for a new study permit, eto na yung mga napakaraming question. Pero, pag nag-apply kayo ng bagong study permit after November 1, for example, due to changing schools or programs, then the field of study requirement will apply. So, I hope that's clear sa inyo po. Then, another one, updated cost of living requirement. On January 1, the cost of living requirement for study permit applicants increased. The requirements for a single applicant increased from $10,000 to $20,635. It's double for 2024. Applicants must have these funds on top of covering their fees or their first year of tuition and travel costs. The new cost of living requirement was implemented for all study permit applications received on or after January 1, 2024. Don't you know, etong updated cost of living requirement, yes, it is true, from 10,000 to 20,000, ang dami pong na-misrepresent. Napakadami pong na-misrepresent. Nagkaroon ng ban ang mga estudyante na international student applicants dahil ang ginawa nila, of course, napasubo na sila yung $10,000 na dapat is show money lang, and then naging 2635. Then what they end up was borrowing money from some banks or from some family members, and when the immigration comes back to them and hindi nila napatunayan na pag-aari pala talaga nila yung pera, na nagbibigay talaga ang immigration ng misrepresentation, which is ban sila ng 5 years. Oh my goodness, ang dami po, sa totoo lang. Marami pang mga estudyante na pumupunta dito, but they have families here na mga work permit holders, and while they are actually gaining their permanent residency, pati sila, kasi asawa sila or common law nila, then pati sila nadamay. So ang dami, sobrang ang daming nadamay sa ganitong sitwasyon. Okay, so next one, closure of the Student Direct Stream and Nigeria Student Express. On November 8, IRCC closed the Student Direct Stream or SDS, effective immediately. SDS was for applications for students from 14 countries, including India, Pakistan, the Philippines. Through this SDS, Student Direct Stream, IRCC's standard processing time for application was 20 calendar days. However, general processing times, which vary according to country, are generally much longer. For example, current processing time for a study permit an applicant from, let's say, Philippines, it's going to be 10 weeks. The same day, IRCC also announced the closure of course, Nigeria Student Express or NSE, a program similar to the SDS for study permit applicants from Nigeria. Another one, cap on study permit applications. On January 22, IRCC announced an intake cap on international studies student study permit application. In 2024, this cap was expected to result in approximately 360,000 approved net new study permit, a decrease of 35% from 2023. In April, Immigration Minister Mark Miller provided further context on this number, stating that the target of approved study permit for 2024 is 485,000. IRCC arrived at 360,000 by subtracting 97,000, the number of students IRCC anticipated to apply for extensions, and setting aside a buffer for other variations. On September 18, IRCC announced a reduction in international student study permit for 2025 based on a 10% reductions from 2024 target of 485K. In 2025, this translated to issuing 437K study permit. During the Immigration Level Plan 2025 to 2027 released in October, targets were revealed for temporary resident arriving in 2025, 2026, and 2027, which include international students. The target for new international students arrival in 2025 is 305,900. This accounts for new arrivals only, not study permit renewals or extensions from students already in Canada. Don't you know, I just wanted to share with you my experience. During that month, I think that was maybe mid-2024, I remember when I was actually applying for student permit extension from being a student to work permit. During that time, before that, it was all okay. Nag-aral ka man or hindi, it doesn't matter. Once you have an LMIA, once na mayroon kang LMIA na na-offer sa'yo ng work permit, you are a student, kahit di ka na pumasok ng school, okay lang. But mid-year 2024, eto na, yung they were asking for a proof na nag-aaral yung tao, yung estudyante, they're asking for other like transcript of records kung totoo nga ba na nag-aaral or proof na nag-aaral siya talaga sa school. Then, kapag ka wala kang mai-provide, they refuse. Thank God, nire-refuse lang. Hindi misrepresentation or anything. They refuse. But you know what? For me, as immigration consultant, I believe in always taking a chance. I believe in not giving up. So what I did, because the LMIA was still valid, I actually have recent international student applicant. Ganun yung nangyari sa kanya. And what happened was, na-refuse siya dahil wala siyang maipakita na nag-aaral siya. But you know what? Na-refuse siya, yes, hindi niya mai-provide yung kanyang proof na nag-aaral siya. What I did, I keep on applying. So that's one. I just got the approval from that LMIA. As long that LMIA is still valid, get on to reapplication. Mag-apply kayo ulit. Basta walang misrepresentation na nangyayari. Keep on applying hanggat that LMIA is still valid. You know, kasi I'm not saying that I don't believe the immigration law anymore, but what happened is that as an immigration consultant, I always stick to the immigration law. At the same time, I actually mix up with my experience. So that's what happened. That's what make me a specialist. And also, another one, I have another experience. Isang estudyante, international student, came here in Canada, and then luckily siya, mayroon siyang pamilya dito or may kamag-anak dito nang nag-provide sa kanya ng LMIA. And during that time, of course, hindi siya nag-aral, hindi siya pumasok kahit kailan when he arrived here in Canada. 3 beses siyang na-refuse. The reason was, they said na hindi niya finalo yung kanyang rule as an international student. That was mid-year also. Then, ang ginawa ko, I asked for the school na kung pwedeng tanggapin ulit itong taong to kahit more than 150 days na siyang hindi pumasok, wala ring permit ng school na ina-allow siyang magkaroon ng vacation sa kanyang studies. But tinanggap siya ng school. Of course, that school, you have to go to a small school. Kasi nga, they will accept. It's money thing. But tinanggap. But DLI itong school na to. Then, yung pang-apat na application for work permit with that LMIA, same LMIA kasi valid pa. Actually, I was preparing myself to reapply again once na ma-refuse again for the 4th time. During that time, that LMIA was actually more than, I think, 18 months validity. So, while that 18 months validity, na-refuse ng 3 beses, yung pang-apat, I was expecting na ma-refuse ulit, but I was keep on sending an update na etong estudyante na to, nag-aaral siya. Actually, he came here as the program was supposedly is in hospitality, but what I did, I transferred from hospitality, nag-change siya ng program. I advised him to change the program to PSW kasi yung LMIA na nag-o-offer sa kanya ng work permit is elderly caregiver. it happened the fourth time na approvean yung kanyang work permit. So, actually, yung LMIA mag-i-end na sa January. So, when I saw the result, notification na mayroon ng notification sa kanyang application, what I did, I actually was expecting na okay, magre-reapply ulit ako for the last time, for the last shot na to ng LMIA. And then, alam nyo ba, pa-end na rin yung kanyang studies as a PSW. Actually nag-ano na siya, nag-OJT na siya, and also pa-end na rin yung LMIA, and the worst thing is pa-end na yung kanyang student permit. But thank God for the fourth time, guys, for the fourth time na-approvean yung kanyang work permit with that same LMIA. 3 beses na refuse, pang-apat na approvean. So that's what I always say to everyone. As long na, me, I know what I'm doing, but again, at the end of the day, it's the immigration pa rin. Marami rin dyan, mga international students and mga PGWP. They tend to actually hire me or try what I'm doing, but again, at the end of the day, it's the immigration pa rin. Marami rin dyan, mga international students and mga PGWP. They tend to actually hire me or try to actually retain me, but they thought na it is magical na, you retain suddenly na it is magical na, you retain suddenly na it is magical na, you retain suddenly na there's always consultant, mga specialist ang kailangan ninyo, but don't put your pressure and don't put your worries dun sa inyong consultant, kasi I believe, for me, I know what I'm doing. I need to relax myself at the same time doing my job. So that's what we try to do. If you find an immigration consultant na humahawak sa inyo and na they know what they're doing, then stick to that immigration consultant. But napakarami po dyan, they tend to lose their patience, they tend to lose their their understanding na immigration is a process. It is not magic. It is not something na you can't really walang connections, walang sugar coating. There's always a process in terms of immigration here in Canada. Okay, so let's move along. Stricter rules for study permits. To implement this cap, IRCC introduced a provincial attestation letter on January 22, 2024. PAL are issued by provinces and territories to international students as proof that the student has a credible admission and has been accounted for under the new caps. IRCC said that as of January 22, 2024, every study permit application submitted to IRCC requires an attestation letter. In March, further details were announced, exempting some students from requiring PAL. As per the update, PAL are requirement for most post-secondary study permit applicants, most non-degree granting graduate programs, for example, certificate program and graduate diplomas, and any international student not included in the exception list below. Okay, so this is not the included one. PAL are not required by primary and secondary school students, master or doctoral degree students, hindi yan requirement ng PAL, in Canada visiting or exchange students studying at a DLI. Visiting or exchange student at a DLI. In Canada, study permit and work permit holders, including existing study permit holders applying for an extension. In Canada, family members of study permit or work permit holders, students who have already been approved of a study permit and intend to travel to Canada for an upcoming program, and students whose applications were received before 8:30 a.m. EST, that's in Ontario, on January 22, 2024. I just wanted to make an example this one. I have a client. I do their directions. Okay, so if I do my part and they don't want it, and then of course I do their directions, but I still give them advice. I have a process international student, tourist visa ito. Okay? Itong tourist visa applicant na ito, what I did, because nandito siya, I applied inside Canada. Now, I was asking for PAL. But, ang sabi daw ng school, at sabi ng advisor ng kanilang school, ang sabi nila, dapat daw mag-apply outside Canada, which is which is in the Philippines ang process, and then hindi na kailangan ng PAL. Yun ang word. And then, of course, what I did what their direction, and then what happened? It got refused. Now, ang sabi dun sa refusal, because you are applying outside Canada, kasi sabi dito yung requirement is magkailangan ng PAL pag nag-apply ka outside Canada. Now, in Canada, ang sabi dito, in Canada, study permit and work permit holders, yes, exempted ka. But when you apply outside Canada, kahit na tourist visa ka dito, then you need the PAL. Yun, yung situation. However, there's still a lot of other reason kung bakit nare-refuse yung mga international student when they apply if they are tourist visa. But again, as what I always say to everyone, as long na valid yung mga documents mo, valid yung mga requirements na hinihingi sa'yo, then I would rather ask you guys to keep on applying. Who knows? Ma-approvean kayo. So, don't give up if that's what you think na yan yung pathway ninyo. Okay, so on September 18, IRCC announced that Masters and PhD students also require PAL. Okay, so now, new requirements for international students changing schools. Also, on November 15, oh my goodness, I think I remember, during August, September, October, November, believe me, I took more Tylenol than the previous times. Kasi sumakit talaga yung ulo ko because it was really like, there was a lot of announcement, hindi lang po international student, hindi lang din PGWP. Sobrang dami in terms of temporary resident permits applications or temporary resident permit program, and the worst part is yung LMIA. That was really a headache for me, but I know it will gonna subside. Now December, wala pa akong naririnig na announcement, but believe me, one of these days magkakaroon ulit ng announcement, and I'm waiting for those things. Also on November 15, IRCC announced that international students must apply for a new study permit if they wish to change school. Okay, so if you are changing school, guys, ito yung new requirements, okay, for international students. If you are changing school, as of November 15, kailangang mag-apply kayo ng bagong study permit if you want to change school. Prior to this change, students could change schools on the same study permit so long as they inform IRCC prior, ibig sabihin before November 15, okay lang yan na mag-change kayo ng school, basta i-inform nyo lang through web form dun sa na yung study permit nyo is nag-change kayo ng school. That is just only online account. You don't need an application for new study permit. But after November 15, if you're changing school, you need a new student or study permit. On December 13, IRCC announced that some international students who are transferring schools for winter or spring 2025 can start studying before having been issued a new study permit. Ibig sabihin, they're implied, so they can study, they can start studying, provided they meet certain conditions. May mga condition ulit. They must still have submitted an application for a new study permit. Okay, so eto pa, college students and university vocational student changing programs and applying for a new study permit after November 1 will be subject to the field of study requirement. Okay? Okay, so now, eto pa, tapos na tayo sa new requirements for international student or changing schools. Next, new rules regarding off-campus work hours for international students. This is very, very important, everyone. On April 29, Miller confirmed that the temporary pandemic measure regarding off-campus work hours for international students would not be renewed. As a temporary pandemic measure, on October 7, 2022, IRCC, before April 29, IRCC allowed foreign nationals on study permit to work over 20 hours per week with no maximum limit, with classes being in session. That was on October 7, 2022. With the end of this temporary measure, the pre-pandemic regulation came back into effect, limiting foreign nationals on study permit to working only 20 hours per week off campus during academic terms. The government announced that this 20-hour limit would increase to 24 hours in fall. These new regulations came into effect on November 15, 2024, allowing international students to work 24 hours while class is in session off campus. Okay? So 20 hours before October 7, 2022, they allowed more than like maximum limit, more than 20 hours a week ang pag-work while studying, and also then bumalik siya sa pre-pandemic regulation, naging 20 hours per week. Then the government again changed to 24 hours a week. That was on November 15. So for you guys, every international student who's holding that permit, you can work 24 hours a week. Okay, but we know that eventually you get your open work permit, guys. If you given or assuming that you actually follow the restrictions and the rules, then once you get your open work permit, please don't wait. Don't wait. Not even a single day to actually apply for a job na wala namang support ang employer to give you a job offer, na wala man namang support ang employer to get that experience for permanent residency experience. So be careful kasi yan po, diyan napapaloko, diyan nagkakaroon ng troublesome situation sa mga international students at saka PGWP kasi pawala na yung kanilang status. They were like crumbling. They're worried. They have a lot of, I think during 2024 ang dami kong naging consultation na international student and of course PGWPs kasi pawala na sila ng status. And I always say to everyone, get an LMIA. Huwag na kayong maghintay. Yes, it's true. Patapos na kayo 6 months, 7 months down the road. Get an LMIA if you did not have an experience na may PR pathway. However, may mga international student at naging PGWP, what they did, they're lucky enough to get a job na may PR pathway yung kanilang experience. Mostly, guys, nanny at saka caregiver. So, updated regulations for open work permit for spouses. Ito na naman ang on January 22, IRCC limited spousal open work permit to spouses of international students in the following program: master's program and doctoral program. Prior to this change, before this change, ang mga asawa ng international student in college programs and undergraduate programs had been eligible for spousal open work permit. This was implemented on March 19. At the same time, IRCC announced exceptions for some undergraduate program. Spouses or partners of undergraduate students in one of the following professional degree programs at a university could be eligible for spousal open work permit or SOWP. Ito yung mga yon. I just wanted to discuss about this. Spouses or partners ng mga undergraduate students in one of the following, itong sasabihin kong mga professional degree program at a university could be eligible for spousal open work permit. Doctor of Dental Surgery, ito yung mga kinukuhan mga estudyante. Bachelor of Law or Juris Doctor, Doctor of Medicine, Doctor of OwpMajor, Pharmacy, Doctor of Veterinary Medicine, Bachelor of Science in Nursing, Bachelor of Education, Bachelor of Engineering, In September, additional limits on spousal loan were announced, limiting open work permit eligibility to spouses of master's degree students enrolled in programs of at least 16 months in duration. This policy has not come into effect as of now. So, okay. So those are the wrap-up major changes for international students and post-graduation work. Policy has not come into effect as of now. So, okay. So those are the wrap-up major changes for international students and post-graduation work permit 24. Now, wrap up major changes for international students and post-graduation work permit 24. Now, I got the opportunity to actually answer your questions here. Post-graduation work permit 24. Now, I got the opportunity to actually answer your questions here. So that's why I always tell everyone, guys, if you have the PGWP, find a job, look or locate for a job that gives you an experience na nagbibigay ng PR pathway. May mga iba, they apply for express entry, Canada experience class, ano pa nga ba, PNPs, but this is what I'm going to tell you guys. What if hindi kayo naimbitahan doon sa mga application na yon? What if hindi kayo naimbitahan? Pa-end na, patapos na, pawala na yung inyong status. What are you going to do? That's why I always tell to everyone, get a job na may experience, and then kahit pa naka-close yung PR pathway application na yan, kahit pa na hindi pa nag-open but you are holding an experience na may PR pathway, then hindi yan mawawala sa inyo. Now, worst case scenario, you didn't get the chance to get an LMIA para ma-extend yung status you didn't get the chance to actually change your status as PGWP or any other permit you have as international student, then at the end of the day, at least you have that experience in order for you and your family to be able to apply for permanent residency. So everyone, before I go further, please, if you are a guest here in TikTok or in my social media, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me or share my my TikTok because I don't have any intention to actually bait you to come and retain me. My intention is to share with you a non-sugar coated advice. Sa totoo lang, ang dami-dami dyan na, they are really like excited to retain me, excited to talk to me, excited na, na ma-call out yung aking attention. The problem, guys, is that what I am always saying is that kahit gaano pa kagaling yung inyong immigration lawyer or immigration consultant, it is not our control. Wala pong magic. There's always a process. So be patient in terms of immigration. Eventually, you will gonna get there. You will gonna get that permanent residency, guys. Okay, so I'm reading all this information. Si Marichu, thank you for following. Si Danong, ma'am, inquire ako for PR application. If you wanna inquire about PR application, marami pong klaseng PR application. I need to hear out more. Please check my profile. Nandyan po yung email ko. Please email me. Si Jay, hello po, for solo applicant po, ano po ang usual na laman ng client info po? Well, what do you mean client info? Ang usual na laman is your information, parang kung ano yung nasa biodata mo, yun. Mostly is yung experience mo, personal background mo, at saka usually yung kung ano yung nasa Schedule B or Schedule A. Okay, what about diploma PGWP time period? I don't know what you're trying to ask. Okay. What another option to apply for a work permit inside Canada, and how long it might take to come out? Well, Hamzak nor if you want to go for LMIA, that takes depends. If it is nanny or caregiver, LMIA comes in earlier than let's say after you submitted the whole application and they accepted, the system of immigration or Service Canada accepted it. It takes 1 month to 2 months. But other than nanny or caregiver, it takes 4 to 5 months. That is the LMIA alone. Another option to apply for work permit inside Canada, if you are a temporary resident permit holder, you have no other option but to get an LMIA for you to be able to extend your status as a work permit holder until such time you get the opportunity to apply for permanent residency. Okay, when you get your APR email, what is the next step? Gardener, you just need to wait. Kasi immigration is really swamped nowadays. There are tons of actually delays and backlog right now. I even knew some of my clients, they already have they downloaded their permanent residence picture because they were actually requested by IRCC. Until now, it's been 3 months already, wala pa yung kanilang ECOPR. Baby Kalma, I like the name. Baby Kalma, please email me if you need my consultation. It is in my profile, norelenoligocis@gmail.com. Or text me, please text me 647-996-2273. Okay. Okay, ma'am, paano po pag misspelled po ng IRCC yung new release po ng work permit ko? Ano pong pwedeng gawin? You know what? You can always email them or, no, you cannot email them. Web form them or request to change the name. Pwede. Mayroong form yon. You can always Google that. You can always request to change the name and you can also request for a new work permit with the new corrected full name or name. Kasi importante yan. But it takes time. It takes 3 to 4 months, I think. And also, you have to pay $50 for you to apply if you want to do it on your own. $50 yata or 30. Yeah, I think $50. Thank you, Macy Marquillero, for the gifter badge. Thank you, Macy Marquillero, again for the ice cream cone. Okay, thank you. Ma'am, can I get study permit on Jan 2025 while inside Canada? I already got for student visa. If you have a student visa and you're saying study permit, I don't understand, Jazz. Please elaborate. Email me, norelenoligocis@gmail.com. Just for plug pooling from Canada to US border, I recommend, yes, hindi pa siya implemented pero in-announce na, but what I am hearing right now, flag pooling is always a negative thing nowadays. So, you can take a chance but be careful. Si Jay, tita, yung sa akin tourist ako dito, okay na po lahat. LMI approved. Then apply for work permit, Jay. What you can do is to apply ng tourist visa ka dito sa Canada and then i-process sa Pilipinas. Pwede yun. Use the IMM 1295. Jay, right now hindi pa implemented yung flag pooling, na sarado na, but you can try, take a chance, go to the border, but if you want, you can apply online as well. Hi Bonnie, pwede po bang salamat po, sasama po si boss. Ma'am, sa Pinas, mag-a-apply ng work permit, kailangan ng LMIA. Yes, if you are a foreign national, you always need an LMIA, guys. Yung mga pinsan mo na nag-work sa Teams, pwede silang mag-PR, depende kung anong klaseng profession or anong klaseng position mayroon sila. They can apply for Express Entry or Canada Experience Class, but pahirapan yon. They need, it's gonna be a pool of the best foreign nationals. Okay, Jay, that's a good thing. Prepare yourself. Actually, even if you don't have IMM 1295, if you do flag pooling, you don't need that. Importante, the other documents. Okay. Hi, Bonsai. Thank you for joining. Okay, so I think yun. So those are the things that the major changes about international student and postgraduate work permit nowadays. I always say to everyone, please, when you get your PGWP, wag na kayong maghintay, wag na kayong patumpik-tumpik. You don't need to keep on transferring from one province to another province. What you do, main thing is to find the job na mayroong PR pathway. And what are those PR pathway? In order for you to get into that permanent residency application eventually. Kahit mawalan kayo ng status, you already have that experience, then you're safe. Pwede kayong mag-apply the whole family eventually. Pagka halimbawa given or assuming na hindi na nawala na yung inyong status when as a PGWP and you didn't get the chance to get that LMIA, what you can do is to apply for tourist visa, but still whatever that qualification, whatever that experience, hindi po yun mawawala. Not unless, as I speak right now, wala namang rule na ganun, pero not unless na sinabing you should have a work permit status in order for you to apply for permanent residency. That was actually happened when it was a TR to PR. You should have a work, you should be working in order for you to apply for permanent residency during that time, TR to PR. But I think hindi na nila gagawin yun, sa totoo lang. Okay? So I think we were able to tackle about all those things in terms of the major changes for international students and post-graduation work permit in Canada for 2024. Guys, right now it's December 28, 3 days na lang, wala pang announcement. I'm waiting for a new announcement para sa inyo. Definitely, please don't forget to share this video. Don't forget to share my profile. Who knows, matulungan natin sila in order for us to actually more stronger in terms of announcing sa mga bagong rule. I am here, guys. I'm a licensed immigration consultant. I'm here to give you advice, interpret immigration without sugarcoating. I'm not forcing anyone to hire me or retain me, but it is very, very important, guys, na you listen to what I'm saying because I don't sugarcoat my advice. Trust me. So kung hindi man ako makapag-live before the new year, I would like to thank everyone for following me. I also want to greet everyone, lahat na, especially sa mga international student and PGWP holders. I know daming nagsasabi dyan na mapapauwi kayo, mawawalan kayo ng status. You know what? Just be vigilant in finding an employer, and also I wanted to advise everyone, don't buy LMIA. So I always say that to everyone. They always say a lot of agencies right now are not making money anymore. A lot of other consultants or immigration lawyer who are selling LMIAs, they're not making money anymore kasi nga napaka-rampant yung ginagawa ng immigration right now. In the background, they are working with the AI or artificial intelligence, guys, para nang sa ganun malaman kung sino yung mga nagmi-misrepresent ng kanilang application. It is not as easy as before anymore because they're actually taking that artificial intelligence. So ibig sabihin, when there is a situation na nag-trigger sa kanilang system na nakita na, like for example, you are applying here inside Canada and then yung agency ninyo nasa Pilipinas, and when the application says, did somebody help you? Did you pay somebody? And you said no, that triggers a misrepresentation. So be careful, everyone. I'm just saying it. This is your future. Don't take it lightly. Make sure when you get an opportunity to hook up with with a licensee or with a immigration specialist, please don't you dare to actually forget that these are the people who are gonna guide you in order for you to survive. Because right now, as an international student, as a PGWP, you are in the battleground. And if you don't have that expertise, then better seek a licensee kasi you are in the battleground. That means you need someone to actually fight in terms of your permanent residency. I believe in you guys. You're an international student. You spent 20,000, thousands of dollars, you actually left your home country para lang just to move here in Canada, to have a better future and to become a permanent resident. And I don't believe what the federal government says that you guys will gonna be going back to your home country on your own. That's not true. I don't believe that. So fight for it. Make sure that you know what you're doing, but wag na wag kayong kakapit sa patalim. Never ever buy an LMIA for sale. So take care, everyone. I hope na, for the next year, mas maganda-ganda yung mga balita, mas maganda-ganda yung mga news, and Happy New Year, Happy Holidays to all of you. Take care. God bless. This is Norilyn Oligo Sarma, licensed immigration consultant.